Hello everyone, and welcome to Social Justice Spotlight, the video segment where I will briefly discuss current events relating to everyone's favorite subject, cultural Marxism. It is important that if someone has bad ideas, that we put a spotlight on them so that everybody can see just how crazy they are. I figured I would start first by giving a quick mention to Sargon of Akkad's petition regarding the suspension of social justice courses in Western universities. First of all, I'm sure he's going into this with full knowledge that his petition will ultimately not be successful, and I've certainly seen many others within our sphere deride him for this, maybe rightfully so, maybe not. In the end, though, I think he is just using this as a tool to further spread the message of how much the cancer of cultural Marxism has really spread into Western social studies departments especially, basically trying to put a spotlight on these problems much like I'm doing with this broadcast. And of course, shockingly enough, social justice warriors have taken notice and have launched a counter-petition. Despite being above Sargon's petition on a Google search, it has only garnered a measly 93 signatures compared to Sargon's 63,000 as of the time of making this video. Next up, we have Hillary playing the woman card. Man, I literally had a double take on this whenever I first saw the news. It's one thing for the opposition to say you're pulling a victim card, but to quite literally proclaim this on one's own campaign site is just a tiny bit mind-blowing. Imagine the backlash if Obama literally said he was pulling the race card because Republicans are mean, nasty KKK racists. I think this is simply one of the many manifestations of PC culture trying to go out with a bang, though. The more we expose them, the narrower and crazier and more vocal the crowd seems to get. Of course, we are only winning battles with this, and certainly the war is far from over. And this brings us to our next topic of the most recent win for us. That would be the University of Massachusetts and the triggering with Milo Crowder and Christina Hoff Sommers. I really don't know where in the hell to even begin with this. First of all three of them were quite on fire despite nearly being drowned out the whole damn time by the minority of SJWs in the crowd. I sure as hell had a huge laugh at the expense of these schmucks, though, whenever Crowder, of course in mocking chess, pulls out the fag and fat pass. His opening was pretty well on fire, and I kind of jokingly like to say that it was more triggering than a full auto fire control group on an M16. He went on, of course, to hit hard in many conservative subjects, least of not which was how the extreme regressive left is literally always trying to paint out conservatives to be, racist, bigot, homophobes, all the usual stuff. Let's see. Next we have Christina Hoff Sommers, aka Base Mom. Despite me not really agreeing with all of her politics, and I really had to shake my head as much as Milo whenever she was talking about her Hillary support, but, in all honesty, she is absolutely excellent at dropping the truth bombs about all the lies pouring out of the gender studies courses, and I have to applaud her for that. It almost seemed as if she was actually going to lose her voice at certain points, especially in the beginning, whenever she was pulling out her little scornful mom mode. But thankfully, she prevailed on that, so that's always a good thing. And I will always certainly support liberals like her that do not want to shut down the opposition, but want to have a healthy discourse between the disparate sides of the political divide. And finally, we have Milo, everybody's favorite faggot. First of all, if you don't know about it, check out his privilege grant that he has started up specifically for the purpose of helping disadvantaged Caucasians. Donate if you can, and share the petition otherwise. Of course, we all know how whites, and of course Asians even more, are literally discriminated in the college admissions and grants process thanks to the joys of affirmative action. And I think it's just wonderful that somebody has the guts to fight against that. And not only on top of that, but in a free market way through voluntary donations and not forced redistribution. I also have to applaud him for his statement on the need to always give bigots, whether they're KKK or radfems, a platform to express their ideas. Once again, this hits right up the alley of this broadcast about being able to put a spotlight on bad ideas. You don't make bad ideas go away necessarily by stripping away the voice of those who carry them. All this does is breed resentment and does not encourage people to change their views. He, of course, got into the gaming sphere talking about how feminists like Sarkeesian are no better than Christians from the 90s in terms of their ability to strip moral agency from gamers and declare, against all evidence nowadays, that games are corrupting people in a manner of ways. And, of course, the SJWs are always the gift that just keeps on giving, and they have literally just handed us a new meme on a silver platter. In case you haven't seen it, there is one person who was actually protesting in the crowd that Christina actually specifically addressed at one point, going by the new meme name of Trigglypuff, and let me tell you, it is absolutely hilarious. So the next subject I would like to highlight is the quote-unquote protests surrounding Trump's LA and Orange County rallies. I would certainly expect no less than pure hypocritical mayhem, especially from California progressives, and true to form, they delivered with some absolute facepalm gold. You really have to love when someone can talk about peace and love and no hate and wear decapitate Trump stickers on his pecs. We also have the social justice warriors screaming with joy as someone waves a Mexican flag from the top of a parking garage. Because it's totally okay to be proud of the country you or your parents escaped from, but totally bound to be proud of America, especially if you're white, of course. There were also a myriad of other incidences, such as assaults, destruction of police cars, toppling of barriers, and many other wonderful examples of how tolerant and peaceful these people are. You also have the guy doing donuts in the middle of the crowd that people immediately proclaimed was a Trump supporter with, of course, absolutely zero evidence. I have a feeling we might be reliving the glory days of the old LA riots soon enough if Trump gets elected. Only time will tell, though. And finally, to wrap things up for this week, we have Angela Merkel taking criticism for allowing the Turkish government to sue a comedian named Bomemin for daring to read an offensive poem about Erdogan, the Prime Minister of Turkey. Merkel, as usual, delivers a wonderful nugget of doublethink that even Orwell would be proud of. And I quote, "In a constitutional democracy, weighing up personal rights against freedom of the press and freedom of expression is not a matter for governments, but for public prosecutors and courts." As if personal rights are somehow counter to freedom of the press and freedom of expression? I certainly hope Germans are just as incensed about this as I am. I'm still absolutely perplexed how Europe has gone from spearheading freedoms for 800 years since the Magna Carta to this. It truly is a sad state of affairs. This has been Social Justice Spotlight for the week of May 1st, 2016. I would encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. And this is Rush the Zeppelin, signing off.